Welcome to Unjustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe now and hit the notification bell, and that way you will receive all of our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for being here, and we do hope you enjoy today's video. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Saturday Night Skanker's Ball. This is something that me and Nellie just kind of thought up on a whim to do something on Saturday night, So what this is actually going to be is every Saturday night we're going to choose, or Nellie's going to choose, one skanker from our skanker list. And we're going to have a topic and discussion on that skanker.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone don't know the case of the skanker we're talking about, hopefully they'll get to learn a little bit about her. So that's kind of like an introduction to this. This is episode 1. It's, brand new to us. So we're going to see how this plays out. See if everybody likes it. We got What's Wednesdays. And now we got Skanker Saturday. So
it still cracks me up. Oh gosh. But it was a wonderful idea. Sorry if it makes anyone upset, but it's funny.
Yeah, right. The reason Dave will probably come in, and work the chat, but the reason he's not here is, this is about a female. I think he would feel awkward up here. Because this is all about women, skanking women and their crimes.
Yeah, that have murdered their children, their husbands, and
just skankers in general.
Exactly.
So who have we got in here tonight? We got Ash and Emmy, Leanda, Cherokee Raider, Debbie, Cotton Eye Joe, Catherine, Chelsea. Look at this, Nellie. New to this case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the nice compliment, Shell. I hope you're able to learn something about this case tonight. This is one heck of a case. I can't really say it's controversial, even though we do have a couple of votes, it looks like, for unsure.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority believe she is completely guilty. All the evidence pointed straight to her, and I think so as well.
Not just that, even her actions pointed straight to her.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we're going to be looking at that, too. There. Casey even looks guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does. She's got this cold, callous. Even from the very beginning, she never showed empathy. Ever.
No, she didn't.
Good Night Al says, I haven't visited this case in years. I remember watching Nancy Grace discuss. Oh, yeah, Nancy.
I think we all sat on the corner, watching the edge of our seats watching her.
Man, Nancy got on this hard, didn't she? Golly, she wouldn't, they wanted her to interview Casey for this new mockumentary that's coming out, and she refused. There's, think about that for a moment. She could have made a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
a lot of fame and everything, but she flat out refused because she said, hell no, she is guilty. I cannot be a part of that. No.
I straight up agree with her. And like she said, she would be forced to ask her fluff questions that she would already be pre-prepared for, know
Mm-hmm.
what she wants to answer with. It wouldn't be like Nancy Grace could just hit her with whatever she wants whenever she wants.
Yeah, and that's not Nancy.
Mm-mm.
Nancy is straight up, and she said
you either like her or you hate her. It's very few people are in between on her.
She's one of these people that people love to hate. Personally, I like the hell out of Nancy. I like the way she handles things, her straightforward approach to them. Don't always agree with her. I can say that for damn sure. I don't always agree with her, but
Right.
oh well.
I don't always agree with her either, but I
That's
don't
okay.
dislike her.
Right. I
She's
really
not
like
afraid
her.
to ask those heavy-hitting questions.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tell when she is mad. Dave just texted me and said he can hear the music in the background. Yeah, we got that music. Actually, Nellie was able to find us that pretty quickly last night. We got it playing purposely because we like it. We just like it.
And also so that if we have to jump off for any reason, it keeps it from being just a total dead silence that y'all hear. Or if we have something go on with our mics, y'all aren't just sitting there listening to radio silence. If the music goes off, then you know something happened and we both got knocked off.
Exactly. Hey, Jen. Hey, Gina. Jax. Yeah, I mean, like Nellie said before the show started, it's like sitting in a restaurant, and talking, and there's light music in the background. So, I like it. If somebody don't like it, let me know, but I like it.
Yeah, if it's bothersome, we don't want it to be bothersome to anybody, but it's just kind of relaxing to us too,
Yeah, and I can't stand radio silence. Can't stand it.
I can't either.
Okay, so where do we want to start with this, Nellie? I think we should just start straight out from the damn beginning with Cindy calling 911, and hopefully, people can learn. The ones that don't know, or maybe it can even be a really good refresher course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, people saying they like the music, Nellie. Isn't that awesome? It's great ambience. Music's good. I like the music. I like the music too. And I think we picked a pretty good one for Skanker's Ball. Hotel California.
Hotel California.
Exactly. And when we do the episode, we were talking about this last night. When we do the episode on the Skanker NK, that's going to be the perfect background music for her because
I said, damn truth.
I know. I said forever ago that her apartment was like Hotel California.
Wasn't it?
Wasn't it so? I mean, really. I mean, we couldn't decide tonight for Casey what background music. We were debating on Hotel California. Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. Well, but was like, we'll just do Hotel California. This is a nice mood music here. I like it.
And the guy that put it together, he's a really good,
Absolutely.
He's really good. I mean, because he plays all the instruments and puts it all together.
He is good. And after the live, I'm going to make sure, and we will link him down below. Y'all check him out. He teaches how to play, the flute, many different things.
Many different instruments.
Yeah, he's awesome. He really is.
Saxophone.
Don't ruin Hotel California for me. I know, Norma, but just think about it. If you know the Watts case, and I'm sure you do, then is there a better song for NK's apartment? I don't know. I think that song hits her apartment pretty well.
It does.
Ash says, I think her mom knew more than she let on. She tried to backtrack her, saying the trunk smelled like a body had been in it. Also, she tried to say that she did the Google searches. Yeah, I think her mom, when she figured out that Casey really did do something, in my opinion, then her mom kind of flipped back and she was like, I need to defend my daughter.
Well, she made that comment, though, that she was like, they were going after capital punishment. She already lost her granddaughter. They were going to take her daughter from her permanently. And she did not want that. She didn't want to lose her daughter, too. She was fine with her going to prison for life, but she was not okay with the death penalty. Yeah. So I think that's why she backtracked the way she did.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Okay, let's pull up this part real quick. We're going to start here like Stephen King does. We're going to start at the end. I love Stephen King and the way he writes, so we're going to start at the very end, the verdict. Let's look at this a minute.
You may publish first.
The Circuit Court for the Ninth Judicial Circuit in Fort Orange County, Florida. State of Florida versus Caylee Marie Anthony. As to case number 2008 CF 15606-0. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. Leave the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Date of July 2011, signed full person. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. Leave the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Aggravated abuse, verdict as to count 3. Leave the jury, find the defendant not guilty. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, leave the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer. Located in Orlando, Orange County, Florida, July 2011. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, leave the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer. Unbelievable. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, leave the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Leave the jury, find the defendant.
So as you see, people was not taking that verdict very well at all. I mean, that was just not acceptable. Not after we had sat through all of those evidence, sat through a month of trial to get that verdict, when all of the evidence pointed straight to her. I mean, like, what?
Oh, hell yeah. That was unbelievable. When they came back with not guilty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just a small clip of the overflow that was like in the lobby of the courthouse, right? There was people, like hundreds, like thousands of people in front of the courthouse. I did not see one person that was okay with that verdict. Not one.
Nope.
Because everybody that watched that trial from the beginning, all the evidence, how did that happen? Like, literally, how did that happen? And as I've always said, in my opinion, that is one of the biggest American misjustices in modern day history. And a fun fact that a lot of people may not know about Jose Baez. Was anyone in here aware that Jose dropped out of high school in the 9th grade?
Yeah, I was shocked when you told me that.
Yeah. He was like a problem child, and he dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. And then when he became 18 and the recruiters started coming around, he joined the Army. He got his GED and he went to law school. And it was either 3 or 4 times that he failed the lawyer bar, the test. He failed it 3 or 4 times.
I think it said 4 times that he failed the bar.
Yeah. And then he was like, the hell with it. So he just opened him up like a website, and he was selling bikinis online. That was his work. He was selling bikinis, and the name of his business was Boom Boom Bikinis. Brazilian bikinis.
Yep.
And he decided to go ahead and just try his luck again at the bar. And he passed it, but he wasn't doing like criminal law, right? So how Casey even found him to begin with was someone she was locked up with said, you need to call this guy. Like he's new. But he would be really cheap because he is new, and I think he would take your case. So Casey got a hold of him, and that is how she ended up with Jose Baez. Whatever. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. I'm going to tell you, when I found that out, I was like, what? I had no clue. Literally no clue. He dropped out of school in the 9th grade. I did not know that. It's kind of shocking. Also, Casey's case, most people do know this. It was like, one of his very first cases. It was his first
Criminal
big case. Yeah.
Yeah, first big criminal case.
Right. I think everything before that was like divorces and things like that. So, yeah. Okay, now let's listen to Cindy's 911 calls, like the very beginning. Let's go there. And make sure you let me know if you can hear this, Nellie, because I can't remember if I pushed the little button for the sound.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, I drove to the police department here.
Can you hear that okay?
Mm-hmm. Can y'all hear it okay, guys?
Okay, good deal. Now, as you see here, Cindy Anthony called 3 times. There was one initial. You'll see. She actually made 3 911 calls.
Here on Pershing, but you guys are closed. I need to bring someone into the police department. Can you tell me where the closest one I can come into?
What are you trying to accomplish by bringing them to the station?
I have a 22-year-old person that has grand theft sitting in my auto with me.
So the 22-year-old person stole something?
Yeah.
Is this a relative?
Yeah.
Where did they steal it from?
I guess the courts, I'm not sure, Nuts, I'm not sure, because we were just listening to the prosecution last night and reading the trial transcripts, and someone she was locked up with told her about Jose, and I don't know that he was appointed. It sounds, from what I read, he was actually retained.
That's what I read too, that he was retained.
I've not heard that he was appointed at all. But, I could be wrong, but I've read through the scripts, transcripts, and the prosecution, and everything I've read that, he was a retained attorney.
Jen asked when was she charged with auto theft? That's just the first part of where all this starts.
Yes.
So as we play this, you'll understand. So this part right here is fixing to answer. It starts with the auto and then it goes on. That's why there are 3 calls.
Yes. Make sure. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go.
My car and also money.
Okay, is this your son?
Daughter.
Okay, so your daughter stole money from your car?
No, my car was stolen. We've retrieved it today. We found out where it was at. Retrieved it. I've got that, and I've got affidavit for my banking account. I want to bring her in. I want to press charges.
Where did all of this happen?
Oh, it's been happening.
No, but I need to establish a jurisdiction is what I'm trying.
Oh, I live in Orlando.
Yeah, but what address did these thefts occur at?
Well, I guess my residence, I guess.
Okay.
4.
That's actually going to be in the jurisdiction of the sheriff's office, ma'am, not the Orlando Police Department.
All righty.
Let me transfer you over to the communications section for Orange County.
Okay. Now, is the Orlando Sheriff's Department the one on 436 is that open this evening?
The substation you're at on Pershing, if it's Orlando Police, we're open primarily during the day.
Uh-huh.
but that's not the sheriff. That's the city police, which does not have jurisdiction for your
I
address.
know there's a sheriff's department on 436.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer you to the sheriff's communications section, and you can determine that. Hold on.
Okay. Because my next thing will be down to child thing, and we'll have a court order together. If that's what you want to play, we'll do it. And you'll never. Well, then you have one more day. No, I'm not giving you another day. I've given you a month. All right.
911, what's the address? What's happening?
I have someone here that I need to be arrested in my home.
They're there right
I have
now?
a possible missing child. I have a 3-year-old that's been missing for a month.
A 3-year-old?
Yes.
Have you reported that?
I'm trying to do that now, ma'am.
Okay, what did the person do that you need arrested?
My daughter.
For what?
For stealing an auto and stealing money. I already spoke with someone. They said they would patch me through the Orlando Sheriff's Department, have a deputy here. I was in the car. I was going to drive her to the police station, and no one's open. They said they would bring a deputy to my home when I got home to call them.
So she stole your vehicle?
Yes.
When did she do that?
On the 30th. I just got it back from the impound. I'd like to speak to an officer. Can you have someone come out to my house?
Okay. Okay, I gotta ask you these questions so I can put them in the call, okay?
Okay.
30th of June?
Yes.
Okay, how old is your daughter?
22.
Okay, what's her name?
My name?
Her name.
Her name?
And you said you have the vehicle back?
Yes. That has the statement.
She's there right now?
Yes, I got it. I finally found her after a month. She's been missing for a month. I found her, but we can't find my granddaughter. 5'1.5".
Thin, medium, or heavy build?
Thin,
Color hair?
brown,
What color shirt is she wearing?
white,
What color pants?
oh, they're shorts. They're plaid. They're like pink and teal and white and black plaid.
Does she have any weapons on her?
No.
Is she not telling you where her daughter is?
Correct.
Okay, we'll have a deputy out to you as soon as one's available, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. 911, what's your emergency?
I called a little bit ago. The deputy sheriff's son here. I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing.
Okay, what is
here now?
Okay, what is the address that you're calling from?
We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her months ago that my daughter's been looking for. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Caylee, Caylee, Anthony.
Caylee Anthony?
Yes,
Okay, is she white, black, or Hispanic?
she's white.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not seen her since the 7th of June.
What is her date of birth?
8/9/2000. 2000. Oh God, she's 3. She's 2005. So it's Caylee, listen. Caylee, listen. Casey says Danny took her a month ago. She's been missing for a month.
Okay, I understand. Can you calm down for me for just a minute and I need to know what's going on, okay? I'm gonna try and talk. Is your daughter there?
I'm on the phone with them.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her? Do you mind if I speak with her? Thank you.
I called them 2 hours ago. They haven't gotten here. And she finally admitted to Danny took her a month ago.
Ma'am.
She's downstairs. They want to talk to you. Answer the question. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Well, can you tell me what's going on a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me a little bit what's going on?
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
And you know who has her?
I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute.
Okay, did you guys call and report a vehicle stolen?
Yes, my mom did.
Okay, so there's been a vehicle stolen too?
No, this was my vehicle.
What vehicle was stolen?
It's a 98 Pontiac Sunfire.
Okay, I have deputies on the way to you right now for that. So now your 3-year-old, okay, your 3-year-old daughter is missing. Caylee Anthony.
Yes.
White female.
Anthony. Yes, white female.
3 years old, 8/9/2005 is her date of birth?
Yes.
And you last saw her a month ago?
31 days. From 31 days.
Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Who is that? Babysitter?
She's been my nanny for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
And why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which was stupid.
Okay. Can you give me the name of the nanny again? Like spell it out for me?
Zenaida, Zenaida.
Last name? Fernandez?
Hyphen Gonzalez. I think the officers are here.
The officers are there?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. Don't hang up with me yet. I need you. Okay.
Wow. She just said hello so nonchalantly, even though she hadn't seen her daughter in 31 days.
Unflippin' believable.
Yeah. I seen there was several comments over here we can address real quick.
Yeah. Start with this one. Oh, you got one up? Hold on, I'm going to pull up one for you.
Yeah, that comment, that said a lot. It did. And when George drove that car back, he had to put down every window and the sunroof, and he was still almost about ready to throw up on himself. The smell was so bad. Yeah, she definitely, in my opinion as well, Leanda.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. That's the one I was looking for. I was looking for Miss Doubtfire's comment.
Yeah, that's a good one. Caylee's father. Well, who is he? Like,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. And Casey doesn't even know. She says that she was at a party one night when she was 18 and she got AR'd by a bunch of men. And she has no idea who the father of Caylee is. Now, they did try to throw it off that her dad was Caylee's father. However, he did undergo DNA, and that was proven to be completely false.
Now, there was at one point she did tell her parents that she knew who it was, but he was dead. And then she confessed to the fact that she was raped, or claimed that she was.
Right.
I didn't mean to say the word.
Oh,
Dadgummit.
that's cool. But yeah, that's true. At one point, when she very first got pregnant, didn't she tell him that he got killed in a car wreck or something?
Yes.
Yeah. And then she was like, she finally come out and said, I don't know who it is. I don't know. Things happen at a party, So, okay. Where was Casey living that the parents had not seen her in that long a time period? Maybe they were not getting along. Well, Casey and Caylee were living with Cindy and George. But Casey said that they had gotten into an argument, or was it Cindy? No, it was Cindy that said that
Cindy said they got into an argument.
Yeah, they had gotten into an argument a little over a month before because they found out that Casey was lying to them and she really didn't have a job after all. And she had been stealing money from them and things like that. So they got into a big old argument, and Casey took Caylee and left. And Casey said that she had been living with her boyfriend. And hang on just a minute. Casey said she had been living with her boyfriend. Nellie, take this over. Somebody's here. Let me see what. I'll be right back, honey.
Okay. Yeah, she said that she was living with her boyfriend, and she told her boyfriend and them that the baby was with this nanny that obviously she made up. Weird though, there was actually a lady that they did find that was the name of however you say the first name. They did find a lady that was named that had that name, but she ended up not being obviously involved and had no knowledge of Casey Anthony or anything like that.
Right.
And so she was lying to everybody around her about where the child was. Her friends and her boyfriend thinks that she's with this Zanny nanny, and her parents think she's with her at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And when they called her in to talk to her and interrogate her, actually they talked to her and interrogated her right there at Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
She brought them to Universal Studios. That's where she said she worked. And they walked for, what was it, like 10 or 15 minutes through these halls and everything.
To a dead end hallway.
Yes. And finally, Casey just turned around and looked at the detectives and said, you know what? I lied. I don't work here. Yeah. So they pulled her off to a room at the side, and they were asking her all these questions, and she never once ever showed any sort of empathy. She gave them some story that she was at a park and this Zanny the nanny jumped her and took Caylee or something and left. And they knew she was lying right there on the spot. So they arrested her right there at Universal Studios. And they arrested her for neglect because they had enough at that point to go ahead and arrest her for that. And when she went, like, I don't know, what was it, a couple of days later, when she went to the arraignment, they did not give her a bond because they knew she was going to run. Right. I mean, they knew she would. And there was enough circumstantial evidence at that point to go ahead and charge her. And a lot of times they won't arrest them because they can find out more if they leave them out and just watch their moves, but not with Casey because she was way too good at lying and they did not trust her. So they just no bond.
Mm-hmm.
And when Casey went to jail, well, we're going to let you hear how she spoke to her parents that were trying to help her because they literally believed that this Zanny the nanny had kidnapped her.
It's disgusting the way she speaks to them. Somebody asked how she got into Universal. They just walked around one of the office buildings and she just started leading them around. She had no idea where she was going. That's why she ended up at a dead end hallway.
Right. Okay, let me help Jen here for just a minute. They had not talked to Casey. No, they talked to her on the phone a few times, and Casey always told them Caylee was fine, and this is after that she had left their house mad. They had that big argument. Casey left the house very upset, and they had spoke on the phone a few times, and Cindy had asked her, well, how's Caylee? Where is Caylee? And she would always say, she's fine. She's with the babysitter, or she's asleep, or something like that. And after a month, she was like, I had enough of this. So she went to Casey's boyfriend's house. After they got that call to go get that car and it smelled like a dead body, Cindy had had enough. So she called around, talked to some of Casey's friends, found out where she had been staying with this guy named Tony, her boyfriend. Cindy went to his house, told Casey, get in the damn car. Get in the damn car. Where's Caylee? She's at the nanny's house. She said, well, get in the damn car. And on the way, supposedly, to the nanny's, Casey finally told her mom, I don't know where she's at. The nanny stole her. And that's how that came to be. That's why Casey was with her, Jen, and she didn't know where the granddaughter was. I hope that made sense.
No, it did.
I have no idea George is a Mason. He had too many connections and he was never considered a suspect. Well, there was a lot of the evidence that kind of almost brought him out of being a suspect. You know, it just pulled it straight off of him. I mean, he was clear pretty early on. I'm not sure if he's a Mason. I know that he was a detective in the past, and he had dealt with some criminal cases, homicide cases. But as far as a Mason, I don't have any idea.
Same here. I haven't heard anything that says he was or wasn't, so.
The entire family must have mental defects to cater to the... Yeah, I mean, surely her parents knew she was lying, right? I mean, surely.
Well, we're all parents. We can pretty much, I mean, I know my son's telltale signs when he's lying.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know my mom could tell whenever I was younger when I was lying, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, George was a cop, and he was also a detective.
Yes, and George, well, I'll save that for later. Never mind.
I thought George no longer spoke with Casey.
He does not. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He made the comment that when his granddaughter passed, that he no longer had a daughter either. To this day, they do not speak.
Well, can you blame him?
No.
My
After
goodness.
the crap they spewed about him in court, that was a lie? No.
Casey's father died. When? Like, I know he was alive like 4 days ago.
I know.
Yeah, he was.
If I get disconnected, I will log back in. I'm going to check that. Hold on.
Yeah, he was definitely alive on November the 15th because they actually talked to him a little bit about this new mockumentary she's got coming out. Oh, okay. She was just asking. No, yeah, he's still alive. I think he's 71 years old now, I believe is what it is. Yeah, I just showed his on the video I made.
Yeah, he's 71.
Yeah, about these spoilers. Yeah, there's some pictures of him that was taken like 3 or 4 days ago. Okay, so I think a good thing to show now, since we did that, is what the phone calls went after Casey was arrested, and her parents, she called them on the phone. She was not worried one bit, and these calls just make me so mad.
Wasn't concerned one bit about where her daughter was.
Not a bit. Not one bit. Only thing she was worried about was getting her boyfriend's phone number and making sure that he wasn't mad at her. Like, what?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me see. I know I got that up. Yeah, here it is.
Casey?
Mom.
Hey, sweetie.
Oh, I just saw your nice little cameo on TV.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which one? I did 4 different ones, and I don't know. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen 1 or 2 so far.
You don't know what my involvement is and stuff?
Casey?
Mom.
What?
No.
I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at.
Because I don't f***ing know where she's at. Are you kidding me?
Casey, don't waste your call to
No.
scream and holler at me.
Waste my call sitting in, the jail?
Whose fault is
bunks are?
Whose fault is you sitting in the jail? You're blaming me that you're sitting in the jail?
Not
Blame
my
yourself
fault.
for telling lies. You mean it's not your fault? What do you mean it's not your fault, sweetheart? If you'd have told them the truth and not lied about everything, they wouldn't...
Do me a favor, just tell me what Tony's number is. I don't want to talk to you right now. Forget it.
I don't have his number.
We'll get it from Lee because I know Lee's at the house. I saw Mallory's car was out front. It was just on the news. They were just live outside the house.
I know they were.
Well, can you get Tony's number for me so I can call him?
Hey.
Hey, can you give me Tony's number?
I can do that. I don't know what real good it's going to do at this point.
Okay, that's her
Well,
brother.
I'd like to talk to him anyway.
Okay.
Because I called to talk to my mother, and it's waste. Oh, by the way, I don't want any of you coming up here when I have my first hearing for bond and everything else. Like, don't even waste your time coming up here.
You know, you're making it real tough for anybody to want to try to, even if it's you with giving you somebody's phone number. You're not even letting me finish.
Well, go ahead.
You're asking me for Tony's phone number so you can call him, and then you immediately want to start pressing towards me and saying, don't even worry about coming up here for all this stuff and trying to cut us out.
I'm not trying to cut anybody out.
I'm not going around and around with you. You know, that's pretty pointless. I'm not going to put everybody else through the same stuff that you've been putting the police and everybody else through for the last 24 hours and the stuff you've been putting Mom through for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I'm done with that. So you can tell me what's going on. Christina would love to talk to you because she thinks that you will tell her what's going on. Frankly, we're going to find out. Something, whatever's going on, it's going to be found out. So why not do it now?
There's nothing to find out. There's absolutely nothing to find out. Not even what I told the detective.
Well, you know, everything
I have no clue where Caylee is. If I knew where Caylee was, do you think any of this would be happening? No.
Anyway, you only got a couple minutes for this, so I'm not going to let you completely waste it. Here's Christina. She thinks she can get through.
No, I want Tony's number. I'm not talking to anybody else.
Hello?
Hi, I'm glad everybody's at my house. I'll have to call you later. I'll have to call somebody to get your number. Do me a favor, get my brother back because I need Tony's number.
Okay, is there anything I can do for you?
I'm sitting in jail. There's nothing anybody can do right now.
Well, I'm just trying to be...
Oh, I know you are, honey. I absolutely know that you are, and I appreciate everything that you're trying to do, but I'd like to call Tony. He's not at my house, is he?
No,
okay.
No, it's just me and your parents and Lee.
Okay, well, can you do me a favor and get my brother back or get the number from him, please?
Does Tony have anything to do with Caylee?
No, nothing.
Okay, so why do you want to talk to Tony? You probably don't want to tell me, do you?
Huh?
You probably don't want to tell me, do you?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, does Tony have anything to do with Caylee?
No, Tony has nothing to do with Caylee.
Oh, so why do you want to talk to him? You probably don't want to tell me.
He's my boyfriend, and I won't actually try to sit and talk to him because I didn't get a chance to talk to him earlier because I got arrested on whim today. Because they're blaming me for stuff that I never would do, that I didn't do.
Okay. Well, I'm on your side, you know that.
Oh, honey, I know that. I just want to talk to Tony and get a little bit of
Casey, you have to tell me if you know anything about Caylee.
Sweetheart,
if anything happens with Caylee, Casey, I'll die. You understand? I'll die. If anything happens to that baby.
Oh my God. Calling you guys? A waste. Huge waste. Honey, I love you. You know I would not let anything happen to my daughter. If I knew where she was, this wouldn't be going on.
Well, how come everybody's saying you're lying?
Because nobody's listening to anything that I'm saying. The media completely misconstrued everything that I said. Detectives told them they got all of their information from me, yet at the same time, they're twisting stuff. They've already said they're going to pin this on me if they don't find Caylee.
Like, wasn't that so pitiful when her friend, this is her friend, started crying and said, I'll just die if something's happened to her, and she jumps her. Oh my God. Like, the only thing she was worried about was talking to her boyfriend.
She only wanted his number. That's it. Didn't care about talking to anybody else or talking about her daughter.
No. Treated her parents like dirt. Her friend, her brother. This is the night she goes to jail, right?
I think the reason why the mom was calling her sweetheart and stuff is because as any parent, you don't want to believe that your kid is capable of doing something so horrendous as murdering your grandchild or harming your grandchild, or anybody for that matter.
Okay, Susie, we'll take care of it. Yeah, I felt so sorry for her friend. Her friend is literally in tears, right? She is in tears, and she don't care. She's even rude to her damn friends. Like, so you tell me, somebody like her, she's a straight up liar, and I don't even believe her with her dad, and I don't ever say things like that. I never want to say stuff like that, but I don't believe her. I just don't. I believe that's the only amount of sympathy that she could get whatsoever from that jury. There was literally no other way to get sympathy from that jury for her. And Jose knew
As somebody that has survived something like that, it really gets under my skin when people use the SA or the M word or the R word as something that happened to them and they lie about it.
Exactly.
I have survived both. And it's
wrong.
It's just, I'm not going to get into my personal, because nobody here wants to hear that, but just my personal opinion, that gets under my skin when someone lies about that.
Yeah, and it's wrong to real victims, man.
It is. And that's disgusting. And it's people that lie about it like that made it hard for someone like me to come forward and say what happened to me and face the things I had to face with what happened.
Exactly. Well, this new mockumentary, look at this. The judge that was over that trial is saying it is complete BS. What she is saying now, that happened. She was saying that she met with her dad every one of those 31 days. No, she would have said that. Baez would have used that bigger than hell in that trial.
Oh, heck yeah.
It says that he just is not buying her latest explanation for the death of Caylee. 2 years old.
I think it was Jen that asked what a mockumentary was. It's basically it's supposedly a documentary.
Yeah,
but this is a mockery of this case. So Kim just called it a mockumentary.
Yeah, I call most documentaries that because they're always one-sided, and you really don't get any true answers from a mockumentary. You just don't. You actually have to go into the case and deep dive it yourself if you want to know both sides.
Right.
That goes, I mean, think about The Making a Murderer. Come on.
Oh,
Oh, that was terrible.
that's
Okay.
that's something else we should do a show for.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will. That was ridiculous. Stephen Avery's guilty. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's my opinion based on the facts. Just like in this case, based on the facts, she is guilty.
Hey, Kim, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. B needs me.
Okay, sweetheart. I'm gonna pull up here Dr. G. And I'm sure most all of you know her because everybody that loves true crime knows Dr. G. She is the one that performed the autopsy on little Caylee's what remains were left. As you all know, she had the duct tape still on her mouth. There was a little heart sticker on the front of the duct tape. Found in Casey's room was some scrapbook material, scrapbooking things. And that little heart came out of one of those scrapbooking things. Another very good clue for you to know in case you didn't is Casey also borrowed a shovel from the neighbor the day she left.
Oh, thank you, Ash.
Thank you so much, Ash. I really appreciate it.
See, look, she's calling us out. We said we were going to talk about that one too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we got a pretty unpopular opinion on that one too, as per usual.
Yep.
But yeah, what do you think, Nellie? Let's listen to Dr. G, her testimony at this trial.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, Dr. G.
I mean, she's just the best, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
You have an opinion as to the manner of death in this case.
Yes.
What is that opinion?
Homicide.
What do you base that on?
It's based on three main items. First, we know from observational studies, from experience, that it is a red flag that when a child is not reported immediately to authorities, either with an injury, that's something we look for foul play. This child, from history, was not reported for a long time. The other thing that makes it a homicide is that the body was hidden. A child's body is thrown out, hidden in a field. We know that is one of the things we look for when we are looking for a homicide. Also, it's often found that these bodies are in, not always, but closed containers, a suitcase or a plastic bag like this child was. That, again, is from our experience from observational systematic studies, a red flag for homicide. And the last, besides the delay, besides the being found in a field decomposed, would be the duct tape somewhere located on the lower half of this face. There is no child that should have duct tape on its face when it dies. There is no reason to put duct tape on the face after they die. Based on our experience, we've seen that in cases of homicide.
You are aware, are you not, of the evidence of chloroform being found during certain portions of the investigation of this case?
I was made aware of that, yes.
Could a child exposed to a sufficient amount of chloroform die as a result?
Absolutely.
But at this point, based upon the medical evidence, can you tell what caused her death?
No, I believe we have enough evidence, and I believe it's scientifically defensible to say it's a homicide, but I do not believe we have enough scientific information to say the means of how that homicide occurred.
So if I understand your testimony, the long and short of it is, are confirming that despite the investigations, the toxicology, the anthropologists, all of these things, there is no scientific or medical evidence to establish the cause of this child's death. Is that correct?
The means of the homicide could not be determined.
And you determined to call it a homicide as opposed to an accident or indeterminate?
The circumstances of death and did not fit anything but a homicide.
The circumstances.
Yes, the way the body was found.
Okay.
And not
I know
reporting
that.
the body.
And also what Detective Melich told you.
I'm not, what part did Dr. Melich tell me? The part that the body wasn't reported for 31 days. Was what
You
he told me.
learned these things from Yuri Melich, an investigator.
That's our standard
some of the
course
things-
of business.
Some of the things you learned from the media.
From you?
Media
Oh, media. No, nothing from media would have been entered into my decision.
didn't enter your mind.
Well, I can't take anything that the media would say into a decision as grave as this.
So the bottom line is, when you say and you place the label homicide, the indeterminate means, you're saying that circumstantial evidence to you says that it probably was a homicide.
Not probably. I think that is the only logical conclusion based scientifically on some of the scientific information we have, based on observational information we have about homicides and children dying. Every death I investigate has to put into the circumstances of death. You can never, ever determine a manner of death, except in very rare instances, just on examining the body. And so it always has to. So we need to know how usually deaths occur. So we have to know, and there's scientific studies in peer-reviewed literature about some of the red flags for homicide.
Objection to the bolster, which is now so about studies. We don't have them. Overruled.
So by my experience and by what is known about the way homicides occur, I felt that the preponderance of evidence and that there was no other logical conclusion could be found by not reporting a child for 30, who has a legal, moral, and ethical obligation to care for a child, not reporting that child missing. The fact that it's tossed in a field to rot in bags is a clear indication that the body was trying to be hidden. Those are, even it being put in a bag is a very big red flag for homicide, and never seen an accidental death of a child. And the fact that there's duct tape anywhere attached to that child's face.
One of the things I love about Philly is all of the opportunity. I don't see myself going anywhere else. What's up? My name is Aaron Ricketts. I'm a photographer, visual artist, and creative director, and I'm from Philly.
Did y'all notice how she sat there just so nonchalantly? She showed absolutely no emotion. When Dr. G was explaining how that baby's remains were found, no emotion whatsoever. Just a cold, calculated
Stare.
yeah,
Nothing.
nothing. Like, think about that. Talking about her body being wrapped in a bag. And she knew herself that that baby's remains had been out there wasting away for 6 months. That's her daughter, her 2-year-old daughter. You know, so if she didn't know what happened to her, how in the hell can she sit there and listen to that and see these photos of her remains and have nothing on her face? Like, how does that even happen?
I mean, look, her eyes even look cold and dead to me.
Yeah. I mean, there was nothing. If that doesn't tell a story, what in the hell does? I mean, not to mention that, I mean, what is this supposed to be, a cold case? I mean, think about it. If she got acquitted, that she's not the one that did it. Nobody's been arrested. Caylee's little body, Caylee's little life has still, till this day, not had justice. So what are we supposed to say? This is a cold case? I mean, how do you even look at that? You know, I mean, we know, I do, who killed that baby. But yet, how is this, how are they handling this legally with nobody still being arrested, just like the little John Benet Ramsey case, right? How in the hell is nobody doing anything, right, in the legal world if she got acquitted? It makes no sense.
There's no logical answer to that.
No. I mean, there's nobody out there still trying to find who killed Caylee. Nobody. Nobody's even ever spoke about it again, who killed Caylee. Because they know who killed Caylee. That's why. And she walked. Yet, legally, I guess it's a cold case because nobody's ever paid and Caylee has never had justice.
And I don't think she ever will.
Now, there was, we did have in here that someone said they don't even know the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to enlighten of how they actually found Caylee's remains. And it was through a 911 call from a meter reader. If you can believe that. And not just one 911 call, 3 different 911 calls this man made.
And they didn't come.
No, never came. Actually brushed him off. Actually got irritated with him, to be honest. And he tried to report her missing like early on, and he knew he found her. Okay, let's see. Here he is.
Hi, I don't have it. I called the non-emergency line.
How can I help you, sir?
I'm a meter reader with Orange County, and I had the route today that included the Anthony's home. Okay, and I went down to the school and came back, and when I was coming back, I stopped between the 2 swamp areas there. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not.
No, but go ahead.
But there's a stretch of road there that goes from like where the start of the road is down to a school, and in between it on either side there's a swamp. And if you're heading back out towards the main road on the left-hand side, in an area, I noticed something that looked white, and there was, I don't know what it is. I'm not telling you it's, Caylee or anything of that nature. So I just,
Do you know what street Anthony Home is on?
yeah, it's on Good Hope, isn't it?
Okay, Good Homes, and what's the nearest intersecting street?
It's the one it comes off of, isn't that? It's like Suburban or something like that?
Hold on, I just want to bring up the map. Hold on.
Because I just read that. That's the route I have today to read the meters on. And this could be nothing.
I don't find Good Homes intersecting with Suburban anywhere.
What is it intersect with?
Oh my God. I don't find.
No, the Shinobi, like 3 roads it intersects with.
Good Homes Road?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does Anthony live off of the second, that little subdivision? There's like a elementary school or something back there?
You don't know what the name of it is?
Oh, God, no. In my GPS, though. Maybe we'll pull it up. Hold on. Do you see a, something? Oh, hold on, let me go pull my GPS up.
Yeah, I found out that most dispatchers are rude. Rude as hell. Yeah, me too.
Coming up now.
I'm looking at the phone book.
Loading maps. All right, hold on. Should be up in a second. 3 or 2.
Is it Anthony House on Holly Street in Zowood?
No, it should Suburban Drive. It's like the school is 8701 Suburban Drive, but it's actually at the end of the road, not at the beginning of the road. And that's where and their road comes off of Suburban Drive. And I work over at the Curry Ford, at the headquarters there at Curry Ford, and we were over there reading that today. And,
Okay, I have the map now, okay?
Yeah.
8701 Suburban is in Chickasaw O subdivision.
Yeah, that's
The
where
nearest
the station
intersecting street is Chickasaw and Lumberton.
Right. If you go down that road, that's where the school's at. In between from where you can get onto their road at and down, there's a swamp area. If you're heading towards the school on the right and left, if you're heading towards the school, it'd be on your right-hand side. And there's like a big swamp area there, and there we found a dead 4-foot eastern diamond rattle back there, but that's not really the thing. There's like 2 little in areas you can go, and there's a big long tree laying down, and there's a lot of swamp back in there. Well, back behind one of the trees down there was a all that 4-foot eastern diamond rattlesnake. I'm not going in that crap.
Okay, so if you're going on Suburban,
You're heading down towards the school.
okay, and it's
Yes,
after
Jen,
Chickasaw on the
that's
right-hand
right.
side?
Yeah, there's the road kind of stops, and then there's like this. You go down, and there's a 6-foot tall fence on the left-hand side, and then the right-hand side open heading towards the school, and it's all swamp area on both sides. And it would be on the right-hand side that I saw what I saw.
Okay, I'll let him know.
I appreciate you, and once again, I had no idea what it was, and I don't want to waste any more of the county's money, but I'm just telling you I saw something.
Not a problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now, then that was the
Sheriff's
first
office.
time. This is the second time.
We got done. I got done, and I went down. You know where the school is down there at the bottom of Suburban?
Mm-hmm.
I called this in yesterday. I don't know if this is what y'all looked at today or not, but on the way back up, I stopped in the middle there where there's a swamp. If you're coming out, there would be a fence on the right-hand side and just open, swamp area on the left-hand side. I went down, I had to take I went down, and there behind one of the trees was and it looked rather suspicious. I didn't touch anything. And then a little bit further up, you can tell where someone ran across with a mower, but the weeds are still real high in that area. There's a fallen tree that looks someone had tried to cut on it at one point, but there was a white board hanging across the tree, and there was something round and white underneath of it. And I don't know what it is, but it just didn't look like something that should be there.
Can I have some cross streets, please?
There is no cross streets. If you turn on Suburban, go down past, the first street, go down past the second street, where the road turns in and goes to their home. If you go all the way down to the end of Suburban, there's a school down there.
Okay, Suburban and where, sir?
So, off of Chickasaw. Yeah, it's like right by their house, man. You go in off of Chickasaw, you go down Suburban, you'll pass, what is it, Lamberton? Is the first one, and then the second one is Hope Springs, and then if you go all the way down, there's a school there. As you're going down to the school, you're going to hit a wooded area. If you're going towards the school on your left-hand side...
What's the name of the school, sir?
It's just the elementary school there. I don't know. I just read the meter at it yesterday. I didn't really, I just, look for my meter number. I really don't pay attention to that, the rest of it. But if you go down there, there's a swamp on the left-hand side, and there's a fence, about a 6-foot-high fence there. On the other side of the road, there is another swamp right there, and then the area is all right in there. That's also where we found a dead 4-foot eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and that's why I didn't go any further into the swamp.
Okay, Roy, what's your phone number? I'm going to send this call up. I'm going to take a look for the bag. I also have another phone number that I need you to dial. It's a phone number set up for anything doing with the Caylee investigation.
Oh, what, the tip line?
Yes, sir.
I really rather would not, being a county employee and all that. That's why I'm talking to you all.
You can still do it, regardless if you're a county employee. You can remain anonymous.
Not if they find a freaking body.
Yes, sir. You can still remain anonymous if they do find a corpse.
Okay.
Because we definitely need you to contact the number because all information is compiled there. And if anything does come up out of it, we'll see who else has also called about it and put it all together.
Okay.
Please do that. Do you have the phone number?
What is it? Go ahead.
1-800. 423.
All right, hold on a second. 423.
Tips.
I'm County Sheriff's Office. How can I help you?
Yeah, it's Hidden Oaks Elementary School.
Okay.
I did some meter reader with Orange County. I had the Caylee's route Monday, and there's an area in between where Suburban ends down at Hidden Oaks Elementary. There's a swamp area that I saw something that I called in a tip the other day, and they said they would dispatch an officer out to me when I got there. And I'm here.
And exactly where are they going to meet you? On Suburban and West?
I'm in between. I'm not near any of the roads. I'm just in a swampy area that's between where the Anthony's Road start and the and Hidden Oaks. There's no streets here. It's just swamp on either side of the road.
Okay, can you go back to the intersection of Suburban and Hope Spring and wait for them there? Is that the nearest intersecting street to where you are?
Georgia, if they come around the corner, they can see me sitting here.
Okay, so you're right past Hope Springs.
Right, yeah. I'm sitting facing the road in the opposite direction, and I'm in a blue four-door Cavalier.
All right. I'll have somebody out there as soon as I can.
All right, thank you.
You have a good day, sir.
You too, bye.
Bye-bye.
As soon as I can for a missing child. Seriously?
Yeah.
That floored me when she said that.
3 times. And when they finally went that last time, they found her. 6 months later, they found her. And then how they treated that man, how the defense drilled that man and treated him in that court was disgusting.
It's almost like they were accusing him of putting her there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was disgusting. I was infuriated listening to that man. I wanted to jump through my damn TV screen and just punch him. And I'm not a violent person, guys.
I mean, what if he hadn't have been persistent? She may not have ever been found, ever. You know, and he called 3 times. Like the first time was like early on, like months, right? Months before.
Yep. And anybody that lives in the South knows it gets hot. And anybody that lives in Florida in the swampy areas knows how badly decomposed she would have already been by 6 months.
Oh my goodness. And imagine, we don't even know how long she was in the trunk of that car. But we know she was because her hair was in there, decomposition, and the chloroform that was used on her. Now, for 31 days, Casey was partying like hell.
Nothing.
raising hell, partying. I mean, just living it up. Even got that tattoo, Bella Vita, which means beautiful life. That's what that means in Spanish. Beautiful life. She gets that tattoo during these 31 days. Now, was the baby in the trunk when she got that tattoo? Who knows? But we do know that the baby decomposed in that trunk of her car. This is the man that found her remains and the way he was treated when he gave his testimony. It's pretty pathetic.
And I had the route today that included the Anthony's home. Okay, and I went down to the school and came back, and when I was coming back, I stopped between the two swamp areas there. If you're heading back out towards the main road on the left-hand side.
Look at her face.
And an
She
area,
cares
I noticed something that
none.
looked white, and there was a like a gray bag down in there. I don't know what it is. I'm not telling you it's Caylee or anything of that nature.
On December the 11th,
She just rolled her damn eyes.
2008, sir, did you find
That's what I mean.
what turned out to be the remains of Caylee Marie Anthony?
Yes, sir.
And did you find those remains same place you had last seen them, or were they somewhere else?
I had never been to where that bag was, so I would have no idea. I cannot answer that question, sir. It was in August, it was flooded. December, it wasn't. It was much more grown up in August. It was much less in December. I have no idea.
Did you ever, after August the 13th and prior to December the 11th, renew contact with law enforcement to ask what's going on with finding the skull that I found in August?
No, sir.
You just let it go.
Yes, sir.
And when you went back in there on December the 11th, sir, and you saw this skull, did you do anything with your reader stick?
Yes, sir. I was standing behind it, so I was looking at it from behind, and I still didn't think it was real. So I very gently took it and put it into the right eye socket, and I gently pivoted it up, and I looked down, and I realized what it was, and I set it down as gently as I could and went up and called my area supervisor.
There's no question in your mind that you lifted it up with the stick to look at it.
I gently pivoted it up. I never took it off.
Did you see that? Think about that just a moment. Nellie, think about this. They are literally talking about how he found her daughter's skull.
And the look on her. Oh.
I mean, seriously. Look at her face.
No emotion whatsoever.
None. And they're literally talking about moving her daughter's skull around with a damn, I mean, oh my God.
I would be
Look
bawling my ass off.
This is what, 12, 14 years later, and I want to jump through the screen and, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, just re-looking at this, Oh my God.
And it still makes me cry 14 years later.
It does me too, man. I just oh my God, I'm choking up just thinking about it. 2-year-old daughter, this is her skull, this is her remains, and the whole time, look at this bitch's face. I'm sorry, look at this skank's face. I'm sorry, I get way too emotional. Oh my goodness. All right, let me start this. I just got pissed. Here we go.
Lifted it up with the stick to look at it.
I gently pivoted it up. I never took it off of the ground, sir.
It wasn't stuck in the mud, was it?
No, sir.
Wasn't stuck in anything, was it?
After finding what I found, the shock of it, I just really can't tell you. I mean, that was a very horrific thing for me to find, obviously.
Did you ask one of the deputies that arrived if you were still entitled to the $225,000 or $55,000 reward?
No, sir.
You have any discussions about that entitlement to reward at all?
I really don't remember, to be honest with you.
Did you also tell Deputy Porter that you wanted to keep it quiet so your ex-wife wouldn't find out about the money?
I might have said that jokingly. I just simply try to do the right thing, and for my efforts to try and help and be a good citizen, I basically got chewed out for half an
Yes,
hour
Shell.
and
This
was
is the
just
guy that
told
called it
horrendous
in.
things.
So you're telling me now that you completely deny making a phone call to your son at all in November?
My son was mistaken about that phone call. That phone call never happened. I called him on December 11th, and I told him on December 11th that I had found something and that if he looked on television that night, he'd be able to see me for the first time since he was 8 years old. I never denied making that phone call. I never technically found anything. I saw something that looked like a skull. You're making it sound like I was standing over top of it. That never happened.
Oh, it's the same skull you told us a little while ago that you were 100% certain was a skull.
Right, but I also said I did not know what it was made of because I never got any closer to it in August than maybe, as you said, on the 13th of 8 feet. I never stood over top of that, sir.
Were you instructed by anybody to not talk about the August reports and finding?
No, sir.
You lifted the bag just to see what was in the bag?
Yes, sir.
And then you see the skull?
They are talking about her baby's remains that have been in a damn swamp for 6 months. And that's the look on her freaking face, man. What?
She doesn't give a rat's.
I mean,
I'm really trying to be a Christian and keep my words good, but
we knew this
makes it hard.
We knew this was going to be a tough thing to do, Nellie. We knew.
I know.
It was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be tough. But just seeing this again and seeing her listen to
I
them
just want to jump
discuss-
through there and slap her mother effing face.
Oh my God.
Right now. I mean, this is your baby that they are talking about.
And
how
you're
they
just-
found the remains, what
Her
duct
little
tape around her
skull
little
in the mud.
in a bag.
And that's the look she's given. Oh man. We knew this was going to be hard, but damn, I didn't even know how hard it was going to be.
I am over here shaking, and my son is just like, "Are you
I
okay,
know.
Mom?"
I
Because he
just
sees me
couldn't-
shaking, so he's wondering if it's my nerves. You know, the other thing that I have. But I'm like, no, it's not that. I'm fine. I'm angry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's harder even when you're seeing this witch listen to this and show nothing but almost like she's just pissed off that she's even having to be there. Like it's annoying her to even have to be there.
Yeah. Like she, why?
There's no shock. There's no shock factor here. Nothing.
And I don't care that they do prepare you for everything that you're going to hear in court. It doesn't matter if you hear it the first time or the 30th time. You would react.
Oh, yeah.
If it's it's not my child and I'm reacting 14 years later.
Yeah. Everyone watching this trial, even people watching it on TV, happened to hear this part. It hurt. The people out in front of the courthouse, the people that was out in the lobby, the people in the courtroom, they couldn't even hardly hold it together having to hear this. And look at her. Now, if that don't tell you something, then you got issues yourself. All right, I'll shut up.
Then you lift it.
Held the bag out. After like the third shake, the contents of the bag shifted. And I looked down at my feet, and that's when I discovered the skull that basically at my feet.
On December the 11th, after you found these remains, had you been working the day before?
No, sir.
You have the day off, in fact?
Yes, sir.
And was there a special purpose why you had the day off?
Yes, sir.
What was it?
Clutch went out of my vehicle.
You had to have car repairs?
Yes, sir.
And sir, did you have a need for some money on that day, the 10th of
Oh my
December?
God.
Yes, sir.
I know.
Over
They tried.
$1,000 you needed for truck repairs, and it's the very
Pause
next
it.
day,
Oh my
December the
God.
11th.
That makes,
If you go back,
if
What
there's
the
a
hell
reward,
does it matter that
really,
his clutch went out? If there's a reward for this, he called it in to be a decent human being, and the cops ignored him 3 times.
completely ignored him.
I mean, he called back in August, and it wasn't until frickin' December that they actually went out there when his damn supervisor called.
Yeah, and all over him about $1,000 reward. Yeah, I mean, if
It's like,
he should get the
seriously?
reward. I mean, had he not have been persistent, then Caylee may have never been found ever.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing with this case. The defense, in my opinion, brought a better game than the prosecution. The prosecution thought it was a win-win, in my opinion, because damn, all the evidence pointed right to it. They should have just charged her with second-degree murder, because with something like first-degree murder, there can't be any reasonable doubt. So when they threw the sympathy cards and the possibilities of this, that, and the other, then that kind of shook the jury up of maybe there may be a reasonable doubt, that maybe it wasn't her, maybe she just disposed of her. It wasn't her that killed her. But I do believe if it'd been a second-degree murder charge, then she would still be in prison today. I think they overcharged her. And not, I think she should have been charged with first-degree murder, absolutely. But I'm talking about with a jury sitting there, they can't have any reasonable doubt. And that defense was so strong that there was no way that they weren't throwing reasonable doubt here and there, right? That's what got her acquitted.
Yep.
It absolutely is. But it's so hard for me to look at her cold face when they're talking about the remains of her baby. Unbelievable. Yeah, that defense team was good. I mean, they brought it. They absolutely brought it. But there's one thing I know I could never, ever be, and that's a defense attorney. You would literally have to be.
There ain't no way I could do it.
There's no way. You would have to literally have no empathy. Like, seriously. You just couldn't. I mean, and I don't like to talk about the Watts case in the middle of something else, but it's just like, say, for example, that case, and I'm using that because everyone here knows it. When O'Rourke was reading what happened, with the girls and the tanks and the everything he was saying, like you notice Chris's defense team was sitting there just stone cold faced, like they didn't give a shit. There's no way I could do that. And there's so many out there, there's no way in hell I could ever represent. I could not be a defense attorney just because I'm way too empathetic. There's no way.
Oh, I'm right there with you, girl. There is no way. My uncle's an attorney, and I don't know how in the Sam heck he does it.
There's no way I could. Prosecution, yeah, I could be all over that, but defense, there's no way. No way. I hope in the docuseries that she is asked about the search history under a search engine that the prosecution team failed to review until after the trial that screamed her guilt 100%. I'm pretty sure this docuseries is absolutely going to be in her favor. I believe it is
going to be fluff.
Yeah. I mean, I already threw out some spoilers that I was able to get a hold of, and her saying that she met with her dad every day of those 31 days. that Caylee was missing, we know that's a damn lie. If that had happened, Jose Baez would have used that 100% in that defense.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he would have left that out.
No, he probably wouldn't even have pulled that molestation card. He wouldn't have even had to. If what she's saying is true, he wouldn't have even had to pull that card out.
Mm-mm.
Yes, I agree 100%, Annette. 100%. Couldn't they come back with a... No, she was completely acquitted. She was acquitted, so that's that, you know, that...
Unfortunately, double jeopardy law, they'll never be able to try her for Caylee's case ever again.
Never. She can never be brought up on nothing with that case, which is disgusting.
She could walk out in the middle of the street and say, I did it. And there's nothing they could do.
And you know, that has been the case. You know, I was reading the other day and I can't remember the name, but it was somebody that did later on admit that he was guilty, but they couldn't do nothing about it because he had already been acquitted. And he was even saying that that was a messed up law because, you know, he was guilty. He just had a good defense team.
Now, if this would have been a mistrial or a hung jury, different story. They could have retried her and come back again. But because they found her not guilty and acquitted her of all charges, except for the stupid lying things that she did.
Yeah, she did stay in jail for 3 years before this court, before the trial, I mean.
3 years is
that
nothing.
was for lying.
What?
No, yeah, that was for lying.
She was in jail for as long as her daughter was alive. Her daughter lived to be 3. I mean, come on.
Exactly. And she had a lot of special privileges in there too. Lots of them. I mean, she wasn't your average inmate. She had lots of special privileges.
She wasn't suffering. That's for damn sure.
Not. Absolutely not. But this is going to show some of the evidence that they were able to show. Now you can see pretty much all the evidence online in photos, but this is some at the time that they were able to show, and this is what the public was seeing. So how she was ever acquitted, I don't know. Like I say, it shouldn't have been a first-degree murder charge because there's always ways to find reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Always, I mean, there just is, you know, and the defense team brought it out there. They threw it out there. So the jury was like, you know, there is possibility acquitted, period. It's so jacked up.
It's a closer look at some of the key pieces of evidence in this case. West 2's Bob Keeling joining us live with more information. Bob, we get to see color images of items taken from Casey's car trunk.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. Prosecutors believe Casey drove around for days with Caylee's body in that trunk. And some of these photographs show how investigators have tried to prove it. This is the trunk liner taken from Casey Anthony's Pontiac. On the carpet, what looks like a flaky substance, small stains, and on the back of that liner, a series of larger stains. Using a process called laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, or LIBS for short, investigators from the Body Farm in Tennessee concluded that the evidence from the trunk is consistent with a decompositional event of human origin. Photographs also show the samples sealed in a metal can and sent off for the so-called sniff test. While the findings were not conclusive in that, again, investigators said it was consistent with human decomposition. Also in the photos, this duct tape sample, Q62, a piece actually removed from Caylee Anthony's skull. In addition, these blown-up photos of a knife with a strand of something sticking to it. It was submitted to the FBI lab for testing, but the knife could not be linked to the duct tape. There are more photos of that rare Henkel brand of tape found on Caylee's skull. It was also used by the Anthony family and volunteers to put up flyers of Caylee while she was still missing. Now, in those discs that were released today, there's video that was subpoenaed from WESH 2 and another station showing a flyer that was held up by that same Henkel brand of tape, the same tape found on Caylee's skull. We'll have much more on the evidence released today and the photographs later today on WESH 2 News.
So with seeing all that, her facial expressions, how could anybody think she's innocent? Seriously. I mean, and we're just hitting on the tip of the iceberg in this case. There is so many evidence that leads right to her, all the way down to her asking the neighbor to borrow a shovel the day she left her parents' house.
Ash, I don't think they were able to get fingerprints off of the duct tape because of
it had been so long.
It had been so long, and all the weather and conditions. Like he said, it was flooded out there at one point, and then, it's hot and stuff in Florida, and all the water and humidity. I don't think there was anything that they would have been able to get off of it.
Oh, yeah, it was found. See, that's the thing. Everything was going back to their house, like literally everything. Even the little heart sticker that was on top of the duct tape. Why would you put duct tape around her nose and mouth if she was already dead? Think about that. You wouldn't. So that was put on there while she was still alive. And the chloroform, I mean, it was searches on their computer for chloroform. And the mom says, yeah, that was me. I was looking up chlorophyll. Well, it's very odd that there was traces of chloroform in the back of that car as well. The whole time, those whole 31 days, she's out partying, living it up, raising hell, getting beautiful life tattoos. You see her facial expressions in the court. How can anybody think? Anybody
she's innocent.
think she's innocent? Like, even the jurors does not think she's innocent. But then they were handed that first-degree murder charge to go off of, which meant there could be zero doubt.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I think this was the perfect one, Nellie, to kick the Skankers off with.
I thought we're doing for next week, you mean?
No, I mean, I think we chose the perfect one.
Oh, to start, yes, I do agree.
To kick off Skanker's ball, because this woman is
the biggest skink of them all.
Ain't that the truth, girl? Ain't that the truth? Let's listen to this for a second.
3 years of sorrow and strain spilled over the witness stand as George Anthony was reduced to a shattered man.
You learned in December of 2008 that the remains of your granddaughter were found. What effect did that have on you?
A deep hurt inside, and seeing what my wife and my son went through.
Up to that moment, had you held out the hope that Caylee would be found alive?
Absolutely. Every day from July 15th until the day we were told it was Caylee.
Casey was stone-faced, watching her father sobbing openly in court for the first time. His silent grief grew worse during sidebar until finally the lawyers took notice and took pity.
Need to break this down? No, sir, I need to get through this. I need to have something inside of me get through this.
Do you need to break this down?
No, sir, I'm fine.
And still no reaction from Casey as people sobbed in the gallery and a reporter left in tears. But his agony was far from over. He was then confronted with a suicide note he wrote in 2009. Prosecutors trying to prove he had no idea who killed his granddaughter, no matter what the defense says.
She was so close to home. Why was she there? Who placed her there? Why is she gone? Why? For months, you and I always questioned why. I want this to go away for Casey.
When asked why he wrote the note,
I wanted to go. I needed at that time to go and be with Caylee.
Casey's father was then asked point blank the ultimate question of this trial.
Did you ever tell the police that you thought your daughter murdered your granddaughter?
I didn't believe that at that time, sir. No.
A shocking answer in a trial full of surprises, like Casey appearing without her lead attorneys. And though her competency was questioned just days ago, take a look at this.
Ms. Anthony, do you want to answer that question now? Do you want to wait till Mr. Baez and Mr. Mason arrive?
I can answer that now.
Okay.
I agree with Ms. Fennell.
Thank you, ma'am.
It is a rare day to hear Casey speak, yet we may be hearing more if she takes the stand.
Wow.
What the hell was she smiling at the end?
Wow.
Effing bitch.
Man.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, TJ. Thanks for coming, honey. We are talking
Glad
about
to
the
have
Queen
you.
of Skanks. Yes. The
Yeah.
Queen of Skanks.
Queen of Skanks.
Yeah, she had to fake hate her dad. I mean, you seen how she treats him like dirt on the phone calls and things like that, and both of her parents. Being a grandparent and seeing that man hurt that way, I get it. I get it. But you never seen Casey cry. You seen her cry one time, and that was when she was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I mean, not sure how anybody could ever be cool with that witch. But believe it or not, there is people out there that believe in her innocence. If you can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
That something had happened to Caylee and Casey was lying.
Sir, definitely something happened to Caylee. She's no longer with us. And Casey was the last one that I saw with Caylee. 1 and 1 adds up to 2, sir, in my mind. And no matter how you're trying to spin it, I'm upset because my granddaughter is missing. I don't know where she's at. I was told that someone had taken my granddaughter, forcibly removed her from my daughter, or my daughter dropped her off at some house. I'm trying to put all the stories and information together, sir. Was I running on pure emotion and drive and demanding answers? That is my right as a father and a grandfather, and as whatever you want to spin it. Was I upset and falling apart at the moment? Absolutely. My family was being torn apart. And for you to say that I was doing something wrong, sir, you're wrong.
Do you recall testifying in your deposition that you did not believe that the car was human decomposition?
Sir, that answer, I believe, speaks for itself. I remember being asked about this at the very beginning, when I talked about walking up to that car and getting about 3 feet away from it, and the smell that emanated from that car. I could smell it 3 feet away on the passenger side. When I opened up that car door, yeah, it smelled like decomposition, human decomposition. I will clarify that. If I didn't say that exactly at that deposition, at that particular point, that's because, again, sir, you have to, when you relive stuff over and over again that is traumatic in your life, you try to give the most complete answer that you can. Was it decomposition to me? Yes. Was it not my granddaughter or my daughter that I found in the trunk of that car? No, they weren't there. But there is a smell of human decomposition in that car. not the garbage that was in it. I'm stating true facts of what I saw, what I observed, and what I went through that day, and what my feelings were. Neither my granddaughter nor my daughter were in the trunk of that car, and I'm grateful for that, because I don't know if I could have dealt with seeing them back there.
Now, sir, the explanation that you give during your deposition is clearly the trash, is it not? Would you like to look at it?
Sir, there's also a difference between trash and garbage.
And there's also a difference, sir, of saying it's human decomposition and not human decomposition?
I didn't say anything about not being human. I said decomposition. I'm going to clarify that again. I think I've done that very well. You're trying to take this joy of my life away from me, sir, and you can't do it anymore.
Would you like to see
I'm going to answer this to you, sir. The decomposition that I smelled in the trunk of my daughter's car on July 15th, 2008 at Johnson's Towing smelled like human decomposition.
Would you
To
like
me, sir, that's what it smelled like to me. And my knowledge of law enforcement and what I saw for 10 years of law enforcement gives me that opportunity to know what that is. I can close my eyes at the moment, sir, and I can smell that again. How dare you, sir, try to tell me that I did something differently than what I did?
And that is why you called 911 right then and there, right?
No, sir, I did not call 911.
That's why you drove that car home.
Sir,
Argumentative, ask and answer.
you are arguing with me, sir. I'm trying to be
Sustained.
calm.
Rephrase your question, Mr. Bass.
And then you went to work, sir, did you not? After smelling this smell,
Argumentative, ask and answer.
Overruled.
then you went to work.
I know exactly what I did, sir, and I'm not ashamed of what I did that day. There's no reason for me.
Strike non-responsive, Judge, to the question. In January, late January of 2009, you attempted to commit suicide. Did you, sir?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you even left a suicide note.
Yes, sir, I did.
And you expressed some guilt. Do you recall being on 48 Hours?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall being paid $20,000 for that appearance?
You know, Mr. Baez, I have been nice to you. I have tried to answer every question to the best of my ability. And for what my wife and I might have retained from a news organization to bring awareness of my granddaughter, my daughter, and other missing children, that's what that article was exactly about. It had nothing to do with guilt or innocence or anything like that. We did that, sir, for self-preservations, to bring awareness for our children, for not only my granddaughter, because how beautiful she was and the life that she meant to us.
I'm going to object to the narrative, Judge. Non-responsive. All of these media appearances stopped when the allegations of abuse came up, correct?
I believe that, sir, was done through you, sir.
Sir, you recall finding out another way?
Relevant.
Please let me answer this.
You don't recall being asked by Mr. Ashton if you had ever molested your daughter?
You have to be specific, sir, when that might have happened, could have happened. You're not being specific, sir.
First day of trial. You were asked.
And a question, yes, sir, and I never would do anything like that to my daughter.
You know, of course, that sex with a child under the age of 12 years old is life in prison, don't you, sir?
Relevance.
Sustain.
Jesus
You're aware
Christ.
of the possible penalties
Yeah.
of child molesting, don't you, sir?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustain.
You, of course, would never admit to molesting your child, would you, sir?
Objection. Argumentative.
Overruled. He can answer the question if he can.
Sir, I never would do anything like that to my daughter.
My question is, you would never admit to it, would you, sir?
Sir, I would never do anything to harm my daughter in that way.
Only in that way.
What the ever living?
Oh yeah, Jose. Jose brought, I'm just saying, he brought the defense. He did. He's one hell of a good attorney, but I'll tell you what, that man hasn't got an empathetic bone in his body.
Mm-mm.
I've always said, man, if you ever need a defense attorney,
and you're guilty, get him.
you might as well get the biggest narcissist you can find, because they're the ones that can throw out anything and not feel one damn bit bad about it, you know?
Yeah, TJ, they found duct tape wasn't it wrapped around twice?
Yes, yes.
And then the
that
heart sticker placed over it. It was around her
placed-
nose and her mouth.
Yeah, and then the heart sticker was placed right where her mouth would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, let's see. So we were able to see the conclusion at the very beginning, because we did the Stephen King thing and we played the verdict. But we actually, what we showed was the people that was in the lobby at the courthouse, their reaction. So now let's show Caylee's reaction. Now you'll see her cry here, y'all.
Oh, she's
Everybody-
gonna bawl like a little baby.
Yeah, you'll get to see her cry here. That's the only time you'll see her cry. I think there was one time when when they were talking about the essay, and you can see Jose reach over to her and kind of nudge her. And when he does, then she throws out a few tears as well. But other than that, that's it.
Oh, Pam, she has made a statement that she wants to have a family now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's all about maybe having some children now. Yeah.
I mean, she's 37, 38, so.
Yeah. Now she's all about having some kids. Imagine that. And they also ask her, because she also works for a private investigator firm, Patrick McKenna, which was part of her defense team. He
Yep.
was also part of OJ's defense team. But yeah, she works for him now, and she
lived with him when she was released from jail.
Yeah, and he said he treated her as one of his own children. And anyway, she said she was asked, was she wanting to look back into Caylee's death and maybe see or catch who actually killed her, since no one's been charged? And her words were, no, that's a closed chapter in my life. No, this has nothing to do with Caylee.
I've moved on with my life.
Yeah, I've moved on. And yeah, that's a closed chapter of my life. Can you freaking believe she said that?
No.
Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let me know if you can hear this, Nellie, because I can't remember if I clicked the button.
You have been selected.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Sworn as the jury to try the case of the state of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. This is a criminal case. The defendant is charged with the crimes of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information.
Jen, I want to answer that. I want to say something about that real quick right here. With all of the alligators in the Florida swamp, they found her. I'm surprised. Yes. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the autopsy, the complete autopsy of the case, but her bones, that's the only way I know how to say it, because it is what it is. And they actually also said this in court. Her bones had been gnawed. So wild animals had gnawed on her bones. And they were in very bad, dry shape. They were able, somehow, by the grace of God, to find every one of Caylee's little bones except for two small toe bones. That was it. They were able to find her complete skeleton, which is amazing, really, given her being there 6 months and in all that water and swamp and animals. But they were able to find her whole skeleton except for just those two little toe bones.
Information to a law enforcement officer.
In a pattern that is repeated throughout this case, when Casey Anthony's lie can no longer stand, when she can't get out of the corner that she has painted herself into, when her back is up against the wall, and when the stakes increase, what does Casey Anthony do? What she did? Casey Anthony comes up with a new, a bigger, and a better lie. It is at this point, with her back against the wall, that Casey Anthony first says these words: Caylee was kidnapped by the babysitter. The babysitter that nobody has ever seen, that nobody ever saw, that her parents didn't know, that her brother had never heard of.
How in the world can a mother wait 30 days before ever reporting her child missing? It's insane. It's bizarre. Something's just not right about that. Well, the answer is actually relatively simple. She never was missing. Caylee Anthony died on June 16, 2008, when she drowned in her family's swimming pool. And that's what this case is going to be about. You're going to hear all kinds of interesting behavior from all parties.
Another fun fact about this case, if you notice when Casey's sitting over there, she looks very small. Notice they continue to have her to dress like a little innocent girl. It was also found by the prosecution that they actually set Caylee in a chair that had shorter legs to make her appear even younger and innocent than what she really was. Now, if you'll notice all of those photos of her when she was partying and raising hell, getting tattoos and everything she was doing for those 31 days, she didn't look short, sweet, and innocent. No, but look how she's dressed here. And look how small she looks. It's all an illusion of the defense. And let me tell you, you got to give them credit, because the defense here did one hell of a job.
Not just Casey. And once you see some of this behavior, you'll realize that the apple doesn't fall very far.
She was 22, Jen.
We are what we are because of who brought us into this world and how we were raised. Casey was raised to lie. This child, who at 8 years old, learned to lie immediately. She could be 13 years old, have her father's penis in her mouth, and then go to school and play with the other kids as if nothing ever happened.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, see, that's where they was like,
That will help you understand
bring it out.
why no one knew that her child was dead. That's the most important thing you must keep in the back of your mind, is that sex abuse does things to us. It changes you. When you go back home and you're back in Clearwater and you're sitting around the dinner table and someone says to you, why did you find Casey Anthony not guilty? You're going to say, well, I was fed a wealth of information. Like a V. All this information came. But it all boiled down to one thing. They couldn't tell me how she died.
All right, Court TV special contributor Ashley Banfield joins us. She was down there for the whole trial. I was down there for the whole trial.
I don't either.
Let me start here.
Tanya.
And, we watch these openings. There was not one piece of evidence of sex abuse by George Anthony. And I believe the defense never intended to even try to prove it, because to prove it, they have to put Casey Anthony on the witness stand, and there was no way she was going to testify in that case.
No, you're right. I mean, I remember picking my jaw up off the floor in the gallery and thinking, is this for real? What a buffoon-like opening. I mean, I was just beyond bewildered by this concept. And I thought, these people aren't going to buy this. And Vinny, I don't believe they bought it. And I know you and I differ on this, but the jury, when I spoke to them, they thought she did it. They thought she was responsible somehow for the death of her daughter. They just didn't believe what the prosecutor said she did. And you know that big dry erase board that Jose Baez put up in the front of the courtroom facing the jurors? He drew them a picture that made sense, and the prosecutors did not draw a picture that made sense. They wanted this jury
Billoughby.
to believe
No, she can
that they
never be
should
retried. She
find
was
Casey
acquitted.
guilty and sentence her to death for sticking tape over her nose and mouth and suffocating her while she was staring into her eyes. That is a really big pill to swallow with no evidence that would really prove that.
Other than the duct tape in her hair by her skull where it was found.
Listen, I saw the duct tape. I saw the superimposed image of the duct tape. It was harrowing in court.
Yeah.
I felt sick, but it didn't say that Casey taped her daughter's nose and mouth shut to stop her from breathing while she stared into that little face. That was a big pill to swallow, because up until then, you just said it, there was no evidence of sex abuse. Why should they believe that? There was no evidence of child abuse. You know, she was a bit of a party girl, but by all accounts, she was a good mom. She was a loving mom with a loving household. Things seemed to go well in the Anthony household. There was no evidence at all to suggest that this young woman sitting in front of them was just a monster who wanted to intentionally snuff the life out of this baby. That was too much.
But
I agree. I think
but
that
she's someone who
woman
never
left
told
that
the
child in a
truth
car.
about anything.
I
She
agree,
never
but
told
a liar.
She made up her job.
I agree,
She
Vinny.
pretended to go to work every day. She
We're on the
pretended to
same
give the baby
page.
to the nanny.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
now here's
I'm
my
with
other
you.
thing.
All
He
of it.
says
I'm on
she
the
drowned
same
in the
page, but a
pool.
liar doesn't a murderer make.
Who can think she's innocent? Oh, my
Gets you a
God.
lot closer than someone who tells the truth. It's what she's lying about. But the drowning, there was a way, if she actually drowned, there was a way for the defense to have the bones tested after
she was
the bones
22.
were found. They could have tested them to determine whether or not she drowned, but they didn't do that test. The little Caylee Marie was cremated, because if they did that test, it would show that she didn't drown, and they didn't do it. They had an opportunity. They didn't do it. I know they don't have to do anything. They don't have to prove a thing. But at the end of the day, prosecutors don't have to prove how someone was murdered. That's where the jury got it wrong. That is not an element of the crime.
Okay, I'm also going to stand up for this jury because
She did.
the
She
prosecutors
ran
in
that
this
house.
case did not ask for a jury instruction that would tell them they didn't need that. They did not need to know the cause of death in order to find what the prosecutors wanted them to find. That was a big mistake. And I have to be honest, I felt that there was this attitude from day one in that courtroom from these prosecutors. Not all of them. One of them in particular was delightful. but two of them I felt were holier than thou. Like this was just an ace in the hole for them, a slam dunk. They just needed to get through the motions. And that's a mistake for a prosecutor. You can never ever do that. You can't just assume people can leap over Grand Canyons for you.
And you've got to say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, like Jose did every morning, and then they'll like you.
Right.
And they liked him.
They
All
did.
right. Ashley Banfield, we've got more to cover. After this, we'll be right back.
So, yeah. Yeah. And if you can believe it, there is people out there that think she is innocent. And we just, Nellie, tonight, we just literally covered the tip of the iceberg. Like, whoever it was that was in here that made on the poll said they did not know this case. And then there was one in the comments as well. It is very much worth looking into.
Yes. What's that book that we
100%.
just, I'm in the middle of reading it, but what's the book that you just finished? That's a
Oh,
good book for her to read.
absolutely. It is. So let me see what the name of it is. Oh, yeah, there's so much in that book. Like, that is where we learned that Jose Baez actually dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, which was shocking to both of us, to say the very least.
Mm-hmm. It had a lot of information in there that we didn't know.
Oh, didn't it, girl? It did.
And I wish
Let's
we
see.
could cover it all, but we'd be here for 6 more
Oh,
hours,
goodness.
guys.
There's so much evidence. The name of the book is called Imperfect Justice, Prosecuting Casey Anthony. It is written by Jeff Ashton, and he was one of the prosecutors. He was the prosecutor. And it has so much evidence in that book. Like, this was a month-long trial. Like, it literally lasted for a complete month. This stretched out 3 years. You know, this happened in 2008, and the trial wasn't even until 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she was in jail for those 3 years for lying to police officers. She was released the day after she was acquitted because she had time served on the only things she was found guilty of, the things that she was already doing her time for, lying to police officers. That's it. That's it.
Hi, Adrian. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, thanks for being here. Oh, Bilby, thank you so much. We really
thank
appreciate
you.
that. We appreciate the extra support to the channel. Okay, let's go check our poll, Nellie, and see where we stand with that. Has everyone voted before I end this poll? If you haven't voted, go ahead and vote now. It's pinned at the top. Go ahead and get your vote in now because I'm fixing to end the poll. And there is 3% that had not heard of this case, which I hope they were able to learn something here. And then 7% weren't sure. I hope you were able to learn something with this and maybe have a more of a close, of what you think. And then 88%, without a doubt. And we have 3% here. No. I support Casey and the verdict. So whoever the person was that supports Casey and the verdict, if the live hadn't have came over so long tonight, I would love to know how you support her and the verdict. I can kind of get the verdict because it was the first degree charge and the defense done one hell of a job to throw a little reasonable doubt here and there about her drowning in a pool, but I don't believe that either. I believe, like TJ said earlier, that she was putting the baby to sleep with chloroform, putting her in that trunk, and then she just got drunk as hell or put too much chloroform onto her, and it killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just rode around with her in that trunk until she started to smell, and then she just threw her off. Because you seen the expressions on her face, like, my God, does that not say a lot when they're talking about her remains and the way they were found? And she's so stone cold faced.
No emotion whatsoever.
None.
Her eyes just look dead. Ash, we
Vanessa,
are gonna.
we
Oh,
talk.
sorry.
Oh no, Vanessa. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a
We're gonna
bunch of
cover. We have most of
bunch
these
of
on our list, so yeah, we're covering every Saturday. It's gonna be a different case.
different skank. Go ahead, Nellie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt in, honey.
No,
Go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to butt you. I was just answering Ash and M, so you answer Vanessa.
Oh, well, go ahead now. I think we got her.
No, I just answered Ash.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we got Andrea Yates, Darlie Router.
Oh, that's what we just talked. That's what I just
Yeah,
answered.
Diane Downs. Nellie, don't you have all those on the list?
Yeah, that's what that's what I was saying, Ash, that we had all of those on the list already, and that we're gonna do a new one each Saturday.
Yeah.
But Andrea, Darlie, and Diana Downs, they're already on there. Melissa Luco is also one I added to.
You know, I went out full force supporting Melissa until I dug into that file.
Yeah.
Until I dug into that court case, I was all for her. Then when I started digging into it, no. No. That's the way it goes, right?
Yeah,
Everything
once
is
you
not
start deep
always as it
diving,
appears.
no, not everything that you see that they show you is always the truth either.
Never.
You have to deep dive it. And some of these documentaries, that's what pisses me off about them, is they give you the wrong depiction. They want you to believe what they want you to believe. Just like
Yes.
when they're making a movie, they want you to follow their storyline and their narrative of it.
Mm-hmm.
The documentaries, they're covering a certain side of it, not just picking it and going the whole case as a whole. They are picking a side of it and getting you to follow that side without coming out and saying that they're making you follow that side.
Right. Exactly. Well, she probably wasn't riding around in it. She was living with her boyfriend, and what I think, and that was in the dead ass summer in Florida. So I'm thinking that the baby was just decomposing in the car, and she was just, partying, hanging out with her boyfriend, and just letting the baby decompose in the back. And probably one morning she just decided that she was going to go to the store in the car, and she smelled it. And that's
Yeah.
when she threw her off. That's what I think.
And somebody made a comment, that her boyfriend had said he didn't want to date somebody with kids. That was true. He did make that statement.
Yeah, he did.
But he did not make that statement with the intention of her doing what she did.
Yes.
He never wanted her to get rid of her child. He just said that he never wanted to date anyone with kids.
Hey, Adrian, good to see you. Okay, y'all, what did y'all think about episode 1 of Skanker's Ball? Y'all think y'all are going to like this? Is this going to be something
Yeah. Is
that
this
we
something
should
y'all want us to
continue?
do? 1 in the comments if y'all want us to continue this, or 2 if y'all don't want us to do this.
Yeah, it's just not really anything y'all are interested in for 2. We talked about it last night. We already have
The
episode
next
2.
4 weeks. We have the
Oh,
next four weeks covered.
Yeah. Episode 2 is going to be a super skanker, Susan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable that witch is going to be going up for parole in not too long.
2024, guys.
Yeah, not too long off. That witch is going up for roll. We've got several skankers on the list, y'all.
Yes.
Skank Saturday, that's right.
Skanker Ball Saturday.
Look at there. They're loving it, Nellie.
Awesome. And y'all can also tell us if there's cases y'all want us to look into. Please list your suggestions, email them to us, and we will gladly add them to our list because we plan on doing this every Saturday. Hoping that nothing gets in the way. We all have kids. We all have, stuff that goes on. I have health issues. And so our plan is to promise to be here every Saturday, just like we try to be there every Wednesday. Sometimes our days may slip and we have to do Watts Wednesday on a Friday like we did last week.
Yeah, we may have to do it on Tuesday this week because Wednesday,
Yeah, because
Thanksgiving's
Thanksgiving,
Thursday.
that's another thing we were going to announce to y'all that Watts Wednesday was going to have to be on Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Because we all have stuff going on Wednesday night for Thursday.
Right. Right.
And I know it's
Okay.
hard. We hate getting, I know we do things late too, but
Well,
it's easier for us to do things later at night because we have so much going on inside, during the day with our kids coming in and out and husbands and everything. So that's why we do things. And plus, we're night owls. So
Isn't that the truth, girl? I'm a night owl. I don't do
I
good
don't
during the
sleep
day.
much. It's hard for me to sleep anyway.
Me too.
I cat nap here and there.
And let's be honest, it's almost impossible to get a time slot to have a live earlier because everybody is live. And I don't want my subscribers to be like, well, I really want to see this, but I want to see that too. Yeah, I don't want them to have to pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're late. And if you're in bed, well, hell, will be a good replay to catch, It'll be a good
NK is
replay.
definitely on the list, TJ.
Girl, you better believe it. NK is going to be on there. Not sure yet. Nellie's picking them week by week because I just can't multitask. I'll be wanting to do them all on one night.
Right. And we can't do them all in one night.
Right. And so I think the way we did it tonight, it was good. We just talked about one case, and I know that we've got some people's mind on this Casey Anthony case now. People's probably going to look into it more now because of that new mockumentary that is coming out. So yeah, I mean, I hope that this was able to open some of you people's eyes that don't know this case, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Really, it is.
Yes.
You look into this case and all the evidence that pointed straight to her, you will be with us, I believe, thinking this is one of the biggest cases of misjustice in America in modern day history. It really is.
It very much is.
Very much is. And yes, we definitely got NK. Lord, what is some of them we've thought about, Nellie?
Andrea Yates, we're going to definitely do.
Yes.
What's her name? That gummit, the one that we said last night. Yes.
Downs.
Yes, there you go. Her, we're going to do. Hold on, let me pull my list, guys. Give me just 1 second.
And it was Pam Smart.
Pam Smart was one of them. Hold on, I got my list over here. I just got to pull it this way.
Darley. Oh, I can't even remember. We were just talking about it last night.
We're gonna do Dina Schulfler. I can never say her name right. I don't know if anyone knows about her. It's a case that was in 2004 here in Plano, Texas. She amputated her 11-month-old child's extremities. She's one that we're going to cover.
Dee Dee Blanchard.
Yes, Dee Dee Blanchard for sure. I can't find the rest of the stuff I put down.
Yeah, we had several we were talking about, and I'm letting Nellie pick the ones for each week, and we're going to try to go ahead and schedule them like we did this one, 2 at a time, so we know
So
next
that way,
week we're
yeah.
talking. Yeah, Kat, next weekend, next Saturday night, the skank of the night is Susan Smith. And
Very
yes,
much, yes.
she's up for parole. So we're
She's
already
up for
getting
parole
things.
February 2024.
Yes, we're already getting things together for hers. We're doing some research, homework into the courts. Yeah. Next week's skank is Susan.
And Chick
Well
Tracy,
deserved.
Andrea Yates is on the list as well.
Yes. Jody Arias.
Jody Arias is the fourth one that I have.
Yes. Anne says Kristen Rossum. I don't think I know that one. Toxicologist who
Oh,
murdered
the
her
toxicologist that
husband.
murdered her husband. Where was that at? Oh, crap.
I don't know that one, girl. That
I
would be
know
one
that
I'd have
because I
to look
used to
at.
work for a toxicologist and he talked about it because he knew her. Damn it.
Let's see. Letitia Stouch. Oh, yeah. They're
Yeah,
throwing out some good ideas.
Letitia's on my list because that Gannon Stouch's case is one case that
Mm-hmm.
I have been following from day one.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I want to thank everybody for being here. TJ, make sure you drop your link, girl.
Yes, please
And
drop it so everybody can
yeah.
and y'all go subscribe to her and watch her. She has some wonderful videos that she has out there, and she has a lot of great information on the Watts case too. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yeah, she's a very deep diver into that case. So if you're not already with TJ, make sure you go subscribe to her channel. Yes, TJ, she is an absolute skank. I just don't know, man. Her and Casey.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest skank, man? I don't know between them two. Like, can it even be picked? I don't know. That's why they're our top two skanks.
Think Susan Smith for me because she got out of that car and watched.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know what Casey did though, man.
No, but we know for a fact that Susan
yeah.
did.
Well, that's true. We
Based
damn
on
sure know she
facts,
did. Yeah.
to me, yes, Susan, Casey Anthony is right up there, very much at the damn top.
Hey, look what Gina says, man. That's a good idea, Nellie. We could do the annual Skank Awards. We need to do
Oh,
that.
yes.
We should do that on like New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or something.
Yes.
That would
Every
be cool.
year we'll do it. Y'all, we'll let everybody, we
Yes.
should have everybody vote and do this
That's right.
for the ones that we've covered, and y'all pick which one should be the annual Skank Award.
Yes. We won't have that many this year, just the few that we're getting here. But, you know, Casey's going to be there and Susan, and we'll have a few there to choose from. Let's do that. I think
Susan
that'll be.
Smith's case is what we're talking about. We'll get into it next week.
Yeah, it's already scheduled. And in the description, I kind of have like a little bit about the case. She actually put her two babies in their car seats in the back seat, rolled her car into the lake, and watched her babies drowned while they're strapped in their car seats. And she done this because now she was married, but the boyfriend she had didn't want kids. So, yeah.
And her
pathetic.
husband very much wanted his kids.
Absolutely.
All she had to do was leave those two boys with their dad and walk the hell away.
Yep.
That's all she had to do.
Just like Chris Watts.
That's what I was just fixing to say.
Yeah, her and Chris Watts. Oh my goodness. They're one of the same, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Dave shows up right when we're leaving.
Dave!
We missed you. I'm glad you
We
was able to
did.
get the link out there, though. You missed a good Skanker's Ball, the first one, Dave. You're going to have to watch the replay. It was pretty good.
And you're welcome to come to panel. You got the link anytime you want to jump up.
That's right. That's right. Okay, everyone. Well, my birds are starting to start up. My dogs are wanting out. And I think this has been a great kickoff to the Skankers Ball.
I think so too. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And y'all had great questions. We hope we answered them all. If there's any questions that y'all still have after this, the email, Kim's email, we both have access to it. So please email and we will answer anything that y'all have.
Right. And that would be teamunjustified@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit us there, and the admins, Nellie and Dave, both.
Yes, and Dave is a great resource as well. He has a lot
Right.
of, he's very informative on, especially the Watts case. Y'all all know that.
Absolutely.
But he has other stuff too. So, and he's really, really good at helping us find stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, guys. Well, it's been a great Saturday night. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know we did. And
Yes, we did.
we'll just finish the rest of our night out on the phone or thinking about or researching how much we cannot stand that skank, Casey Anthony. All right, everyone. You have a good night the rest of your weekend.
Good night. God bless everyone.
Thank everybody for being here. Thank the mods. And we
Yes,
really
thank you, guys.
appreciate you all. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave us a comment below on your thoughts of this video. And until next time, this is Unjust.